Hey guys, it's James Dainard, and we are back on BiggerPockets today, and we are discussing the great debate of investing over the last 24 months. Which is the better asset class or investment engine to invest your money in, Bitcoin or real estate?
Only problem, I bought it from a fake seller.
James Dainard just walked over to my desk.
If you skip the first 3 steps, that's the easiest way to lose money. All right, so let's talk about it. For the record, I am not a cryptocurrency expert. I'm actually kind of a cryptocurrency failure. Back in 2017, or the end of 2017, the beginning of 2018, we got the bright idea to go rent a massive meat locker up in Everett, Washington. The reason being it had enough power to mine machines all day long. We put about 250 machines in this building and we started mining. The bad news is cryptocurrency is a little bit irrational and it dropped down during that time, and it started costing us about $3,500 a month just to operate this freezer. After about 9 or 10 months, we decided to call quits. We parted out the machines and we shut it down. We're actually one of the first brokerages ever to list a cryptocurrency Bitcoin farm, which actually never sold. And today, if I would have kept that thing going, I would have over $100 million in my bank account. But I didn't, and that's life. So let's talk about Bitcoin and what it actually is. Bitcoin was the original cryptocurrency. What is cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency is a decentralized currency that people now can buy and sell things across the world without government regulation. The big negative of it is it's not fully immaculated into our whole world. You can sometimes go buy real estate with it, sometimes you can't. You can go buy bigger items, but you can't go buy things at the grocery without transferring your money around. But it's not a currency that you can use in every day-to-day life. Like, in certain areas you can't use it at all. In China, which it represents one of the largest populations in the whole world, they have banned it, so you can't even use it there. So these are going to be problematic for as far as an engine goes. But it has caught a craze, and all I've heard for the last 24 months is buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, and people are making millions of dollars. Overall, cryptocurrency is a new thing. It was established in 2008, and it really started catching fire in 2011, 12, and 13. There's a lot of things unknown, and you're seeing a lot of volatility in the crypto space right now because it's not fully established and it's not a part of everyone's day-to-day life. Whereas real estate, my favorite investment engine, has been around since the dawn of man. Real estate offers cash flow, tax breaks, appreciation, and wealth. It is something that is established. You own it personally, you can control it, you can rent it out, you can generate income and appreciation over time. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna compare real estate and Bitcoin and see who the actual best performer is over the past 5 years. All right, so we're gonna jump right into the numbers of Bitcoin and what you would have today if you would have bought it 5 years ago. So 5 years ago in 2017, Bitcoin was trading about $2,000 a coin. It had just came down from a massive run in 2015 and 16, but it was kind of back at its low. If you would have put $100,000 into it in 2017, by the end of 2018, it was then trading nearly at $20,000 a coin. That is an unbelievable 10x on your money after year one. In 2019, bad news for Bitcoin, it crashed and dropped almost 65% by the end of the year. So the bad news is it crashed 65%, but the good news is you would still be up 3.3 times where you were at in 2017, so a great return. And then 2020 and 2021 happened, where it really hit the gas. At the end of 2020, Bitcoin was back up to nearly $30,000 a coin. A lot of people thought that it was its own separate currency, and it was protected from all the different stuff that are going on in all these world economies. Turns out, it's looking like it's actually not. What we've seen over time is Bitcoin has been heavily invested by Wall Street, different types of investors, even countries were looking at taking on it as their currency, and it got very inflated. As more Wall Street money comes in, the less of its own currency it appears to be. So currently today, what we've seen is we've seen Bitcoin just implode over the last 4 months. So we've seen Bitcoin elevate all the way up to a value of $69,000 a coin, and now it's back down to just under $20,000 in a very short period of time. That's a huge correction in a 6-month period. But the great news is its overall value is still doing well. Remember, if you bought it back in 2017, you only paid $2,000 a coin and it's nearly $20,000. So you would still 10x your money and your $100,000 would be worth over $1 million today. So at the end of the day, Bitcoin can be very profitable to invest in as long as you time it right. From what I can see, it's all about the timing on it. In that 5-year window, we saw it go up and down in massive swings. So it's a lot more irrational versus an asset like real estate. The reason people love real estate, including myself, is it's a steady asset. It has steady growth over time. In addition to, I like that it pays me income every month. I can go out, find a property, tenant it, leverage it, and collect cash flow and then redeploy my money again. In addition to, I like that I can have a hands-on approach to my investment with real estate. Real estate allows me to dictate the terms. If I'm investing in a stock or crypto, I'm kind of exposed to the market and it's whatever the market's gonna be doing. If I'm in real estate, if the market starts getting squirrely or starts crashing, I can adapt my own game plan and control the narrative a lot more than I can with cryptocurrency. Let's look at real estate over the last 5 years and see how it matches up against crypto. So what I've done is I looked at Seattle's median home price from 2017 and I've analyzed it through 2022. Back in 2017, the average median home price for real estate was $362,000 in Seattle, Washington. Not too bad. In 2018, it grew to $397,000, which is about a 9% modest increase. Now versus Bitcoin, it got its butt kicked. In 2020, the median home price jumped up to $452,000, which was a $90,000 gain with your original investment. So now you're almost up to 100% return on your investment after year 2. In 2021, real estate ballooned up to $635,000, and then we really hit the gas in 2021 where the median home price rose to over $880,000 in Seattle, Washington. Now remember, when we bought this property 5 years ago, the median home price was $365,000. So that is a massive increase in appreciation. If we factor that being on a cash flow rental property and we factor in an 8% return, which is well below what I usually chase, I'm always chasing 12 to 15%, but let's use 8. If you factored in 8, it would add in an additional $40,000 to $50,000 in cash flow outside of the appreciation that you already gained. So to summarize, your $100,000 would have grown to almost nearly $500,000. Once you add the cash flow on top, you made about $550,000, which is roughly about a 5.5x on your investment. Now remember, compared to Bitcoin, that's about half as much. So does that mean that Bitcoin's a better investment engine? It might be, but the one thing that is not factoring in is leverage and forced-in appreciation. We just reviewed showed that Bitcoin actually made double what real estate would in a simple method. But that's not really breaking down the fundamentals of real estate and what you can actually do with it. In our example, we looked at buying a house for $365,000, the median home price, and you're gonna put $100,000 in and grow. What it didn't factor in is like a BRRRR example. When you're buying a BRRRR property or something that's value add, you're gonna be all in basis of that property, buy, renovate, refinance, you're gonna be in at 75% of new value. So that walk-in margin, that forced appreciation can actually get you a huge return in that year 1. And that's how we do it as investors. So in that example, at $365,000, your total cost basis would actually be $290,000 after you buy and renovate it. That's going to give you a sudden jump of around $70,000 in appreciation in the first 4 months. So the problem with this comparison is it only gives you a sliver of the picture. With Bitcoin, you can go and you can actually leverage it just like real estate. You can go get a margin, buy more Bitcoin, leverage up on it. But the problem is, as that asset starts to fall, you can get a margin call and you might have to pay that money back at any given time. It's directly affected by the market conditions. Whereas in real estate, what we can do is we can actually lever right away and cash flow the property. So there's pros and cons to both investment engines. It depends on really what you believe and what kind of assets you want to be in, and also how big of a risk taker you are. As we've seen in the graph with cryptocurrency, it has spiked. It's had peaks and valleys, and they're big swings. If you're educated, you know how to read the currency correctly, and you know how to time it right, you can make millions of dollars. Unfortunately for me, I'm just not good at it. Another benefit of cryptocurrency is that it has a low barrier entry. Sometimes buying real estate, what we do know is you can optimize different programs with real estate. If you haven't bought a property yet and you want to get your first property, you can take advantage of an FHA loan where you can put 3% down. But 3% on a $365,000 property is still going to be $10,000 to $15,000. But with crypto, you can invest any sort of amount and still get that same return. It's not just about how much money you're making, it's the return that you make. When I'm looking at any deal, I'm looking at what's my cash on cash return. How much money am I putting into and how much is it growing at? So if you're making 10x on your money, it doesn't really matter if it's $100 or 100,000, you're still making 10x. But be cautious with crypto, it's still relatively new. Remember, it got established in 2008. It hasn't been around that long, and it's really been actively trading pretty rapidly just in the past 10 years. It has gone up and down, so there is massive swings in there that you have to watch out for. It is just as easy to lose money in crypto as it is make it, and that's why it has the high risk, high reward. I personally like staying more steady and being able to control things more. One thing I did learn with buying Bitcoin is I didn't like the jumps in the timing and how much I had to pay attention to it. Now, when I was buying Bitcoin on my app, I had to constantly be watching it, seeing what the trends were. A lot of investing in any kind of cryptocurrency is timing a trend right. You see it in all these kind of, they call them junk coins, where a new coin happens, it surges at 10,000% and then it crashes the next day and people are just riding the wave. So if you're good at that and you're good at reading stock options or these day traders and you know how to time it right, you could crush it. But at the end of the day, I'm a real estate guy and I like assets. If you would have invested in Bitcoin 5 years ago, you would have over 10x your money. If you had invested in real estate, you would have 5x your money, not counting all the different ways you can manipulate it and grow it. If you did the BRRRR strategy, you could over 25x your investment. And this is why I love real estate. It's a commodity. People need it. It's always going to be in demand. As a real estate investor, I can go find any type of investment that I want and really manipulate the return. Whereas in Bitcoin, if I'm just buying Bitcoin, I'm dependent on the value of the market and where it's established. With real estate, I can go find a turnkey property, get a very stable return, put 20% down, leave it there, and let it grow with appreciation and cash flow. Or if I want to do a lot more work, I can do BRRRR style properties where I force the appreciation and I can double my original investment after it's all stabilized. That's that forced appreciation that can grow your wealth rapidly. And that's something that Bitcoin can't do unless it's hitting a hot trend. If you buy it at the right time, at the right market, you will crush it in Bitcoin. But with real estate, you can actually make a plan. So now I want to hear from you guys. Who do you think is the top earner? Is it real estate or is it Bitcoin? Comment below, let me know what you would invest in. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to BiggerPockets YouTube channel. And for more of me, check me out on Project RE on YouTube or on J Dane Flips on Instagram. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time.